Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, I am Clementine and as always I'm
Super Saiyan.
But never mind that. This is a Strat that was made by Gibson in 1990 and lately it's been doing some of this. Well, any excuse to rip it open and do some tone mods. Then a before and after sound comparison. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, stay tuned and roll that beautiful spleen footage.
Heavy metal ATC.
Did Gibson really make a Strat? Yes. In 1986, production started on an Epiphone S-series guitar, which was made in Korea. This is an example of the S-310 bass model, in white, with the Voyager-style headstock. At the top of the range was the Epiphone by Gibson S-600, a Charvel Super Strat-style guitar, with a humbucker in the bridge position. A longer, thinner profiled headstock with a locking nut, which after 1988 even included a Steinberger tremolo system. The guitar we're going to be working on today is the Epiphone by Gibson S-310 model. This guitar has had the neck replaced with a vintage Fender Stratocaster neck. It's a one-piece maple neck with the bottom adjustable truss rod and a skunk stripe up the back. Okay, so let's kick a little bit of background music, rip this baby open, and get it on! First thing I was surprised to see was a little bit of cloth pushback wiring in here used as a ground. And that 47 nanofarad tone capacitor there definitely has to go. I don't play jazz. These are definitely some peculiar pickups. They have double magnets on them like a P90. I had read in a forum that these were some kind of Alnico, but I suspect them to be ceramic. And I'd say these are the hottest single coil pickups I've ever played. I used to use this guitar in a heavy metal band. First thing you want to do when you're disassembling something is to take a camera and snap a picture of it so you can see how to put it back together if you get lost. Now let's move this guitar off the bench real quick and talk about two things that are probably going to give me a lot of hate. This is an industrial soldering gun. People say don't use these on guitars because they'll demagnetize your pickups, but my pickups are in the guitar across the room. Here's the other thing. This is a pot of plumber's flux. People will tell you to never ever use plumber's flux on electronic circuits, but I'm about to show you why you should and why it's the shit. Now this is a Fender branded 500k CTS pot. After we finish soldering, I'll tell you why you would use a 500k pot versus a 250k pot. But right now, I'm about to show you why plumber's flux paste is awesome. I'll dip my solder into this plumber's flux and get just a little on the end. Now watch how quickly and easily this solder takes to this pot with this industrial iron in this plumber's flux. Now you can see some of the plumber's flux has ran down the side of the pot. Now there's not so much acid in it that it's gonna eat a hole through it before you can do anything. What you do is you take some rubbing alcohol, the stronger the better, and you take a brush and you scrub it off. You do this 2 times. Now look at those solder joints. Those joints are about as likely to be cold solder joints as you have likelihood of going on a date with Kim Kardashian. People are still gonna say, oh, that's not right, you don't use that stuff. But look at this factory joint. That looks an awful lot to me like plumber's flux. My friend Petey Two Finger completely believes in this stuff as well. He has pedals that he built back in the 80s using this stuff and they still work. I'll put a link to his channel in the description.
I took electronics class in senior year of my high school, and my gym coach, Mr. Gayton, told me we were never supposed to use plumber's flux. That it would eat. That was the first thing in the class and the first question on the quiz.
Now let's desolder that old pot and get it out of there. And we have to drill a hole here for the new pot to fit because the shaft is bigger. Pro tip, that step drill's spinning in reverse. Now do you see any burrs? Now while we solder the new pot in, I'm going to explain to you the difference between a 250k pot and a 500k pot and why you would use one or the other. Okay, so a potentiometer is a variable resistor, but it also has a fixed resistance. This is the 250 or the 500k resistance. This is how much of the signal goes to ground. Now pickups have a certain amount of capacitance to them as well as resistance. So the pickup will end up acting as a tone capacitor with the fixed resistance of the volume potentiometer, setting up a secondary tone circuit or an RC circuit. This allows just a tiny bit of your gain and a good bit of your high frequency signals to be bled down to ground or taken away. So generally when using a 500k pot, you'll get a tiny bit more gain and a lot more highs. That's why they're generally used with humbuckers, and 250k pots are generally used with single coils because single coils are already very high pitch. You can always turn your tone control back a little to compensate. Also, as you turn the volume knob down, you are increasing the RC circuit to where more of the high-end frequencies go to ground. So it works almost like a tone pot. So I'm installing a 1 nanofarad capacitor between the wiper and ground, or the first and second pins of the pot. This will counteract that, and as you turn the potentiometer down, or the volume down, it will actually allow more bass to bleed to ground. Now let's get rid of that no-name greeny 47 nanofarad capacitor. This is the USA made Red Drop Fender branded 22 nanofarad capacitor that came with the CTS pot. What this will do for me is modify the sweep of the tone knob. There should be much more high and mid frequencies present during the first half of the sweep. A lot of people seem to think that it won't affect the tone if the tone knob is all the way up at 10, but I think I'll let you decide that yourself when you hear the tone comparison. And this is how we'll do that. This is a Rogue 15 watt practice amp, and I've got everything dime and the overdrive switch off. The green shirt is before the mods and the black shirt is after the mods. Tell me in the comments if you can hear the difference that $7 worth of components make to the tone of the guitar. Neck position. Now hard. Bridge position. Now harder. Now down to 5. Here's at 5. Neck position. Now hard. Then we'll go to the bridge. Now hard. The tone pot is totally different. I should have recorded it before, because it's like this. Well guys, that just about does it for this video. If you found this helpful or entertaining in any way, please give it a like and maybe subscribe. Who knows what we'll do next time. And look at the friend I made during this video. His name is Engelbert Humperdinck. All the music you heard in this video was made on this guitar. Also, don't forget to check out Petey Two Finger. He's a heck of a character. Till next time.